And staying with the G7 summit, well, at the G7 summit in Italy, US President Joe Biden and Ukraine President Zelensky signed a 10-year security agreement to bolster Ukraine's defense against Russia. The deal aims to ensure continued US support regardless of future administrations. And at G7 Ukraine, Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni announces the G7's decision, and a big one at that, to grant Ukraine a $50 billion loan using Russian frozen assets. Listen in.
U.S. President Joe Biden and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky signed a 10-year bilateral security agreement on Thursday aimed at bolstering Ukraine's defense against Russian invaders. The deal, signed on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Italy, aims to commit future U.S. administrations to support Ukraine, even if former President Donald Trump wins November's election, officials said.
Our goal is to strengthen Ukraine's credible defense and deterrence capabilities for the long term. A lasting peace for Ukraine must be underwritten by Ukraine's own ability to defend itself now and to deter future aggression anytime in the future. The United States is going to help ensure that Ukraine can do both.
This is an agreement on steps to guarantee sustainable peace, and therefore it benefits everyone in the world, because the Russian war against Ukraine is a real global threat.
The agreement indicates the U.S. will provide weapons and ammunition and intelligence sharing, and is meant to be a step toward Ukraine's eventual NATO membership. Zelensky has long sought this, but allies have stopped short of taking that step. Also Thursday, G7 leaders agreed in principle on plans to issue $50 billion of loans for Ukraine, backed by interest from Russian sovereign assets frozen after Moscow launched its invasion of its neighbor in 2022. This comes one day after the U.S. dramatically broadened sanctions on Russia, including by targeting China-based companies selling semiconductors to Moscow, as part of its effort to undercut the Russian military machine waging war on Ukraine. Trump has expressed skepticism of Ukraine's continued fight, saying at one point that he would end the conflict on his first day in office. He met with lawmakers in Washington Thursday who said he criticized a $60 billion aid package for Ukraine that recently passed with Republican support.